we're going to go ahead and call the Senate Committee on Revenue to order. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Cruz Crawford.
Here.
Senator Dunyate.
Here.
Senator Steinbeck.
Here.
Senator Stone.
Here.
Chair Neal.
Right. So for all the folks that are listening in, please, that are in Carson City, please silence your electronic devices. If I see no one in Vegas. We have 8 bills on work session today. We should be able to move through this meeting pretty quickly. We're gonna we're gonna go in exact order. We're gonna start with AB 11, and I will turn the work session explanation over to Mr. Tower.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tower with the Fiscal Analysis Division for the record. Committee members and the public will find the work session document uploaded in Nellis. As the Chair mentioned, there are 8 bills today in work session. The first one is AB 11. AB 11 was sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Revenue on behalf of the Department of Taxation and was heard in this committee on May 6. Assembly Bill 11 revises the timeline for the Nevada Department of Taxation to submit its proposed budget and legislation to the Nevada Tax Commission from June of each even-numbered year to January of each odd-numbered year. And there are no amendments that were proposed for this measure. Thank you.
Members, are there any questions on AB 11? Seeing none, I will accept a motion for AB 11 to do pass.
So moved. Second.
So I have a first from Senator Dunyate, a second from Senator Stone. Are there any comments or questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, the motion carries, and I will assign the floor statement for AB 11 to Senator Stone.
Thank you.
Next, we will go to AB 69.
Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division for the record. Assembly Bill 69 is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Revenue on behalf of Nye County. It was heard in this committee on May 8th. Assembly Bill 69 removes the prospective expiration date of September 30th, 2027 for the Nye County Sales and Use Tax Act of 2007, allowing the optional sales and use tax rate of up to 0.5% for the funding of public safety by supporting personnel, facility construction, and facility improvements in Nye County to be imposed permanently. And there are no amendments that were proposed to this measure.
Are there any questions on AB 69? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to do pass.
So moved.
So I have a first from Senator Dunyate. Second?
I'll second.
So I have a second from Shelley Cruz Crawford. Is there any commentary on the motion? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've always felt that public safety is my number one responsibility as an elected official. I've always been a anti-tax advocate, including extension of taxes, but I know how devastating this could be to the county of Nye if this doesn't go forward, and for that reason, I'm going to be voting yes on this today.
Any additional comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing no opposition, AB 69 passes unanimously from the committee. So I will assign the floor statement to Senator Steinbeck. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division for the record. Next in work session is Assembly Bill 133, sponsored by Assemblymember Gurr. It was heard in this committee on May 6th. Assembly Bill 133, in its first reprint, revises the distribution and use of proceeds deriving from the sale of property for delinquent taxes such that the respective county treasurer receives certain excess proceeds for acquiring and improving technology if a property is sold because of delinquent taxes. The bill also changes the opening hours of county treasurer's offices. There's an amendment which was submitted by Assemblymember Gurr that changes the opening hours of county treasurer office from, at a minimum, 5 p.m. on all days except Saturday, Sunday, and non-judicial days to a minimum of 5 p.m. on any business day.
Seeing none, I will accept a motion to amend and do pass.
So moved.
So I have a first from Senator Stone. Second from Senator Dunyate. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing no opposition, the motion carries and it passes unanimously. So we'll move to the next measure.
Thank you, Senator Neal.
Oh, I didn't
sorry.
assign the floor statement. Pass to Cruz Crawford.
Next is Assembly Bill 277, sponsored by Assembly members DeLong and Gurr. It was heard on May 8th in this committee. Assembly Bill 277 amends the confidentiality provisions in chapters 360 of the Nevada Revised Statutes to authorize the disclosure of information related to the Department of Taxation's computation of the gross yield and net proceeds of all minerals extracted in Nevada. And there were no amendments that were proposed to this measure.
Members, are there any questions? Seeing no questions, I will entertain a motion to do pass.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a first from Senator Stone, a second from Senator Dunyate. Are there any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Seeing no opposition, the motion passes unanimously. I will assign the floor statement to Senator Dunyate. Next.
Next is Assembly Bill 377, sponsored by Assembly members Galland and others. It was heard in this committee on May 8th. Assembly Bill 377, in its first reprint, requires the property value declaration form for each deed that transfers title with a county recorder to include a section for claiming partial property tax abatements for primary single-family residences and qualifies rental properties. The bill also authorizes property owners to submit their claim on this newly created section of the value declaration form or on a form provided by the county assessor in which the property is located. There were no amendments that were proposed for this measure.
Members, are there any questions? Seeing no questions, I will accept a motion for due pass.
So moved.
So I have a first from Senator Dunyate, a second from Senator Stone. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Seeing no opposition, AB 377 passes unanimously. So I will assign that floor statement to myself. And we will move now to AB 441.
Thank you, Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division, for the record. Assembly Bill 441 is sponsored by Assembly Member Monroe Moreno. It was heard in this committee on May 8th. Assembly Bill 441 revises the Nevada Educational Choice Scholarship Program by requiring scholarship organizations to be domestic nonprofit corporations in Nevada and use donated funds for which a tax credit was received within 18 months of the approval date of the credit. The bill also changes the application and approval process for tax credits issued by the program by replacing the rolling application and approval for tax credits with a fixed 30-day window, and by prioritizing the approval of tax credits such that, first, pupils who applied for a grant and received a grant in the immediately preceding school year are supported. Second, newly applying siblings of pupils who applied for a grant and received a grant in the immediately preceding school year. And third, newly applying pupils in neither of these two categories. If sufficient tax credits are not available to provide a grant to every pupil in a particular category, the tax credits are to be allocated among the scholarship organizations on a pro rata basis. There's an amendment that was submitted by Assemblymember Monroe Moreno, and that would change the time period within which scholarship organizations are required to use donated funds from 18 to 24 months.
Members, are there any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, I will accept a motion to amend and do pass. So I have a first from Senator Danyate, second from Senator Cruz Crawford. Is there any discussion on the motion? No? Seeing no discussion on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So I have two in opposition. The motion carries to move AB 441. Our opposition is Senator Stone and Senator Steinbeck. I will assign the floor statement on this one to myself. Next, AB 457.
Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division for the record. Assembly Bill 457 is sponsored by Assemblymember Considine and was heard in this committee on May 13th. Assembly Bill 457 requires a joint interim standing committee on revenue to conduct a study during the 25-26 interim on the advisability and feasibility of bundling certain business entities with common ownership, primarily engaged in renting real property such that they are treated as one entity for the purpose of the commerce tax. A conceptual amendment was submitted by Assemblymember Considine that would require the study to also assess the potential process for filing changes in controlling interest for the imposition of the real property transfer tax on the transfer of controlling interest for certain property.
Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, I will accept a motion to amend and do pass. So I have a first from Senator Danyate, a second from Senator Cruz Crawford. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Senator Steinbeck.
I'm going to vote yes on this and reserving my right. I do believe that this needs to be addressed. I think Assemblymember Considine has done a good job on this. I do have some concerns is that, this tax would be passed on to the people that can pay it the least right now, the renters out there, that it could actually hurt them and that they just can't afford it. And that's my number one concern that I'm considering. I'm continuing my evaluation on that, but I am voting yes to pass it out of committee. Thank you.
Any additional comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Nay.
So I have Senator Stone in opposition. Motion carries for AB 457. Okay, controversy. So I will assign that floor statement to myself. All right, next, AB 535.
Assembly Bill 535, sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Revenue and was heard in this committee on May 13th. Assembly Bill 535 amends the sales and use tax exemption for religious, charitable, or educational organizations by providing criteria that the Department of Taxation must consider in assessing whether an organization qualifies for the exemption. The bill additionally requires the Department of Taxation to provide to an organization that has applied for the exemption but whose application was denied a full explanation outlining why the organization was denied and of the appeals process. Finally, the bill creates a reporting requirement for the Department of Taxation to the Legislature concerning the exemption. An amendment was submitted by Grand Lab that would specify the criteria that the department must consider in assessing whether an organization qualifies for the exemption. That specifies that the department that the criteria the department must consider only apply to organizations created for charitable purposes. The exemption would also eliminate from the list of criteria that an organization helps lessen neighborhood tensions. Thank you.
Questions? Seeing none, I will accept a motion to amend and do pass.
So moved.
So I guess it was a tie. So I have a first from Senator Danyati, a second from Senator Stone. Are there any comments or questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, so the motion carries unanimously, and I will assign the floor statement to Senator Danyati. Okay, so that concludes our work session, and now we will open up for public comment. Is there anyone here in Carson City for public comment? Seeing no one for public comment in Carson City, is there anyone on the phone line for public comment?
The public line is open and working. There are no callers at this time.
All right, that concludes our meeting, and we will adjourn Senate Revenue.